Yes, people, how we all doing? Welcome back to the Damn with Daps show. It's been a while. He was ill last week, but he's back feeling better than ever. Before we get into the show...
Glad you remembered. I forgot. I was.
No, it's 2 weeks now.
COVID kind of, I think. I think it was kind of COVID.
Yeah.
If it exists.
Yeah.
Before we get into the show, please smash a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like I said, it's been 2 weeks since we last spoke with Daps. Things have improved. Things have slightly improved. We were going through a bit of a rough patch when we last spoke. Obviously, a number of draws. There was a loss in there as well, wasn't there? But you know what? We're back to winning ways. We're 6 for 6 in the Champions League. We beat Luton on the weekend. We haven't spoken since that either. But I think the main thing should be Champions League talk tonight, because I'm actually really excited about that for some reason. I've got this really good feeling about the Champions League. But yeah, bro, 6 for 6. We move on to the knockouts. We're the first English club, or only English club other than Liverpool, to get 6 for 6 in the group stages, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Liverpool, the only team to do it. Yeah, we made light work of the Champions League, innit? Let's be real. Made completely light work of it. Sailed through the groups as expected. But do you know what? Last night before the game, I was kind of like, like the team that we put out, I was thinking, I wasn't expecting much. And Cass goes to me, but exciting to see a couple of youngers. I go, yeah, but it's not too many. It's a couple of youngers. But I'm not gonna lie, I was for a last group game when you don't even have to get a draw out of it. We were through top in the group anyway. I think we played really well, and with the amount of fringe players, because often, look, I don't think it's a secret. Yeah, City don't look as good when we have multiple players out. Yeah. And that's because we're a system-based team that when you have loads of fringe players coming in for one-off games, it takes a couple of games to get going. But I think yesterday we played some really good football. Like, we were moving the ball about like City moved the ball about. And that's what impressed me the most. The way, I think Nunes played well as well. I think he was looking better. Oscar Bob and Hamilton. Hamilton was sick, man. Hamilton's exciting.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to lie. If we didn't have Nunes, what in a good way, yeah?
No, in a good way, in a very good way.
Yeah, he was sick, Nunes. He popped off.
Yeah.
A lot of people been talking about Nunes, saying what role is he going to have in the team? Where's he best going to be played? I think he showed last night, particularly in the first half, what he can add to our team in the midfield. When you look at the midfield 100%. We've had this season without De Bruyne, we haven't had a ball carrier. Someone who's going to run with the ball, someone who's going to drive with the ball.
The only one's Bernardo, isn't it?
That's quality.
Yeah, bro. Look, for me, I think of all of the players that have joined us this summer, he's getting the most unfair criticism, right? Because, he's not as experienced as Kovacic. Kovacic has had really bad games. Kovacic has had a couple of really bad games.
He has had stinkers.
Nunes hasn't. Nunes has had injuries as well. And let's be real, up until this season, everyone said, in a Pep system, it takes a season for you to get into it. But now all of a sudden, all these players are supposed to, and especially with Nunes, I look at Nunes and think he's going to need a season. And I'm more than fine with that, right? I think he's been brought in so that and I'm not saying he's as good as Bernardo Silva, but I think he's been brought in so that if someone like Bernardo Silva does go next summer, we've got someone that's had a season playing in this system, and he can carry the ball like Bernardo Silva. He's one of those type of players. Like, so yeah, I was happy with the way he played yesterday. I think with him, he just needs to, in one or two of the earlier games this season, he looked like he was getting a little bit too excited and trying to like impress everyone too much. Whereas leave that to Doku. That's what Doku's role clearly is. I think Pep has a plan for Núñez, and it's not to be that flary, impressive player. It's to be the ball carrier. And yesterday, I think he looked really good. I think Hamilton, if we didn't have Doku, I think people would actually be talking more about Hamilton because he looked exciting, a bit like Doku. You know, the way he won that penalty was beautiful.
I agree. I think Hamilton looked good, man. It's good. It's good to see players like that. On the Núñez thing, I think I think he's been a victim of like basically not really been trusted yet. I think Pep knows that he's not ready yet. So for the side to start week in week out, I mean, I feel like he got done really. Do you remember Wolves? He got taken off at half time, and then since then we didn't see him, and then he got injured as well. Just to add on top of that, exactly. So I feel like, but people are saying, "Oh, he's a flop. He's a flop." Like, but they're too quick to get on his back. He's not even had time. He's not had time to even excel. Never mind, he's not even had time to be a flop. So
I feel even before that, bro. I feel when we signed him, I feel like some people are underwhelmed. Like,
I agree.
And with Pep and with City, like we should never do that. Like if Pep and our board decide they want a player, I think based on generally the players we've signed and how it's taken them a little while, but then they've come good, we have to trust them. But I do think there's an element of the fan base that like, no, we have to be making marquee signings now. Everyone has to be Galactico. We're Manchester City. And so I want one that we can go on Twitter and shout about. Whereas it's like, that's not what we are. Like you got given Erling Haaland for that, right? Shout about him. Yeah. Pep still needs the players that he thinks are going to work in this system over the next, well, when we buy a player, ideally we're looking to buy a player for like 8 to 10 years, right? That's what we try and get out of a player.
Yeah.
So I know I was happy with that performance and just the overall performance. The only Stones was brilliant again. The only downside, I guess, was conceding 2 goals again. Like, and that's the frustration at the moment. The conceding of goals just won't go away. Like I'm
not bothered about that, Daps. I'm not bothered about conceding 2 goals last night because if you look at the midfield we had and you look at the defense we had, Calvin Phillips last night for me. I'm buzzing. You scored your penalty. I'm buzzing. You have a registered goal for Manchester City. But I'm sorry, you did not do anywhere near.
The track is not
kind of said that they draw their goal. Was it the second goal or the first goal? Did he get caught lacking him? Like,
yeah, first goal.
Yeah. Well, when the guy just runs past him and Calvin's just stood there, like, just watching him like this, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Yeah. He just lets him go past him and goes into the box.
He literally just didn't go with his runner, and as a 6, that's like it's come on, like, and we know like you can't like. I think it was probably last time I was on here, I was saying like, don't ask Calvin Phillips to be Rodri, ask him to be Calvin Phillips, a 6, a destroyer. Yeah. And then it's like, but if you can't even stay with runners, it's like, I mean, it's one of them ones where you just wish someone would catch a break, and he got the goal. But, you know, we look at more than that because, look, we did have that bad patch, right? And we have to remember that bad patch. We can't forget that bad patch. And Pep and the board can't forget that bad patch, because if we do, and then Rodri gets suspended again because he's picking up cards still, then what? And I've kind of noticed now the difference is we lose games without Rodri. We without other players, we've drawn some. Without Rodri, we lose games. Yeah. So it's one of those ones where we have to, I don't know. I think, what do you think of that wave from Phillips? Do you think that was a good buy? I personally don't think so. I think it was acknowledgement of the fans, you know.
I think he was. It didn't feel like a good buy, but then at the same time, the whole thing to them. My brain. When I first watched it, I didn't think this is him saying goodbye. But then it was on hindsight when I went, maybe it was, because it can't be too obvious to just start waving at people. But I think he might be. He might be thinking though, this genuinely could be one of the last games that I actually play for this football club.
Oh, I think it's a thank you for me. I think it's a thank you.
I think it's a thank you.
It's a thank you the thank you crossed with a potential goodbye because he knows he might not get the opportunity to do that again. But I think it's a thank you because as a fan base, I think for the most part we've been fairly lenient with him, and we've not grilled him too hard. We've not gone in on him. But my feeling about last night's performance for him was, I mean, look, whether you're going or whether you're staying, I'd like to have seen a lot better than what I saw last night.
Yeah.
For me, it's quite clear what Calvin doesn't offer that Pep wants. And it's just general work rate, if you ask me. Just to break it down to the fine, I'm going to be cynical about it. He doesn't run enough for a number 6 that Pep Guardiola wants. He doesn't show for the ball enough. He doesn't track back quick enough. He's not alert to danger quick enough. I'm sure with time and match sharpness, those things might improve, but he doesn't have a base level of it that's enough for Pep Guardiola to be happy with. So it kind of makes sense. For me, like, I've always given Calvin, like, maybe if this happens for him, or he gets this run or that run, I've never seen it with him. I've never seen a single moment where I go, okay, there's something to work on there. Everyone knows we like him as a person. I like him as a person. But unfortunately, as a footballer and as number 6, which is Pep Guardiola's, it's the crown jewel to a Pep team. It's the crown jewel to a Pep team is a number 6. If you don't fill the demands of a Pep Guardiola number 6, you simply won't hack it. You won't last, and he doesn't. He just doesn't. You could be a great Calvin Phillips for Juventus. You could be a great Calvin Phillips for another Premier League club. But the demands for a number 6 is not what a great Calvin Phillips will do for Manchester City. It just doesn't.
No, I agree, and that's the thing that you look at. I get it. It's hard when you're a fringe player and you get one opportunity and you have to take it, and you haven't got any match fitness. I get it. It's hard, but there's other players that have done it. And in this City team, when he joined us, he must have known that. He must have known that his chances are going to be few and far between. And when you get them, you take them. And unfortunately, like you said, I can't think of one game where he has got a chance and he's looked good. Like I really can't. Whereas I can think of games where he's got a chance and look bad. And it's sad. And you know what? The mad thing is, we say it's sad, and on Talk Sport they were talking about, he probably regrets the last 16 months of his life. Does he? Fuck. He has been on a roller coaster. Guys
want a treble.
Bro, he's won 4 trophies, right? He was at Leeds, yeah. He was like he was there we go. He was like me when I was a kid. I never dreamed of a trophy, right? He came City and he picked up 4, right? Already, he's gonna be at the Club World Cup, so he's gonna get a 5th. Basically, pretty much. I mean, if England win the Euros, goddamn, he's on great wages. You can tell he's enjoying it as well. He's having a good time. So I don't think he would. And he's only 28, so he will get a move somewhere else with all that trophies in his cabinet and say, "Yeah, I was part of a treble-winning team." He hates Man United, so it's for City that makes it even better. So yeah, man. But I think we know he's going in. He will be going in January.
He'll be loaned out.
I reckon he's learned a lot. I reckon he's
loaned out. Yeah, he probably has learned a bit. Yeah, to be fair.
He'll learn a lot off Pep, definitely. But Metallitin, was it Metallitin there? It said everything else he would improve on with more game time and training with Pep. But in my opinion, his peripheral vision, positional awareness, speed of thought and pace are not things you can improve much. But he definitely would have learned so much from Pep. It's just some things he can't implement into his game. Yeah. When he goes elsewhere, he'll definitely take the things that he's learned and he'll become a better player for it. But obviously, that's why I think he needs to go now, because the longer he stays, the more he's going to hinder his career by being here. Because, like I say, there's only so much you can learn without putting it into practice on the pitch, and he doesn't get the game time to do that. I think he needs to go elsewhere now, and I think he'll still have a great career, and he can say that he's won a treble.
Yeah, for real.
Look, the thing is, football's cutthroat. Football's a cutthroat sport. It's ruthless. Pep Guardiola's ruthless, right? And the thing is, if you're going to do what we just all agreed on, which is that you get your opportunities, which are few and far between, and you don't show anything, you're not going to hack it. We've seen Zinchenko's do it. We've seen Fabian Delph's do it. We've seen Akanji's do it, coming in as a 5th choice centre half and really quickly making yourself a mainstay. We've seen Jack Grealish do it, have a whole season where people wrote him off and people didn't like him, and all of a sudden Jack Grealish comes back and is integral to a treble-winning team. Yeah. We've seen players do it, and that's what Pep wants. Pep wants it that when you get your opportunity, you don't have to go and make yourself the best player on the pitch, but show there's something there and show there's something we can work with. Calvin's not done that.
Do you know, Vinny said it, I think it was on 5 on Rio Ferdinand's channel, good couple of years ago, they did an interview, and he spoke about City, and he said, look, the way things are run at Manchester City is when you join them as a player, they will, you're treated like a friend. You're treated like family. You're paid well. You are given everything on and off the pitch to live a very happy life. He said, and all they expect from you is to do your job, right? And to perform to the level they expect. If you don't perform to their level, it's not a falling out situation. You won't fall out with them. It will just be we're going to sell you because you're not hitting the level. No hard feelings, but we part ways. And with Calvin Phillips, ultimately, that's just how it is. Like, he's came in and he hasn't stepped in. Like, I still go back to being really harsh, to be fair, but when he arrived at us, he was injured or he got an injury. He can't, that's not his fault. Injuries happen, yeah. But then he recovered from his injury just in time to travel to the World Cup, right? Where he hardly featured, while Rodri was featuring non-stop for Spain after also featuring for however long for City. And there was kind of this thing that when Rodri got back, that little period afterwards, maybe Calvin could step in with and, give Rodri a rest. And Calvin Phillips returned from the Euros after the World Cup after hardly playing and was out of shape. And that was on him, because it's like, that's your opportunity. You didn't take it. And then ultimately after that, it's like, well, we're not going to give you another opportunity while we're in a situation where we need to win every single game to win the league. We're just not going to give you a run. So it's what it is, man. How we replace him, I don't know. What we do, I don't know, because I don't think at the moment we've got anyone at the club that can do that role. I
agree. I don't think Kovacic can do the Rodri role too well. And obviously, and Rodri, Stones, I think it's high risk as well, Stones, because you're basically playing all your centre backs and putting Stones in there as well. And I like it when Stones inverts next to a CDM, so he's not whole reliant on that CDM. He basically, if Stones inverts when he's got a CDM with like Rodri, he's got an anchor there. He can pivot off, he can go forward, or he can hold back and Rodri can move forward. Whereas when it's just Stones and he's got someone else with him, I don't think Stones trusts that next person enough for Stones to carry that ball forward. Like.
This is the thing. Football is about partnerships, and like the Stones, Rodri, Diaz partnership, that three, it just works, right? It just works. Like, Laporte for me was one of our best defenders, but Laporte and Diaz and Laporte and Stones just didn't work as well as Stones and Diaz.
Laporte, man, like Laporte was a weird one actually, because very, very, very good centre back, like one of the best in the world. I'm surprised he went to Saudi. I thought he'd walk into any side, to be honest. Yeah. He just could never form a partnership with anyone, and that's I think that's what killed his City career, because as soon as you got we had Laporte in it, then as soon as you got the Diaz Stones partnership, Laporte did not get a look in for the rest of that season. Because it was Stones, Diaz, it was them two, and you could see how much them two love playing next to each other.
Yeah, 100. They knew their roles. They
were celebrating clearances, stuff like that, like a goal. Like they were both. They looked like best mates. You could see them when they're like. There was a time when I think it was when John Stones scored with his knob. And then I think it was against United as well.
So it's not one of them that scores with his knob. Okay.
Yeah, there's many of these players for us. And he goes over to Diaz straight away and hugs Diaz. Like,
do you know what I felt with Diaz and Stones is because like Diaz, you literally could see Diaz pushing Stones into position, like telling him where to be defensively. Yeah. And Stones was fine with that. Even though Stones is an older man than Diaz is, but it's like they understand and they accept what their roles are. Whereas with Laporte, I could never imagine Diaz, like if Diaz started trying to push Laporte into position, I could imagine Laporte being a bit like, whoa. What
are you doing? What are you doing?
I've been here longer than you. Don't do that. Whereas I just think Stones is the type of guy that he knows I'm a ball playing defender, and Ruben Diaz is the type that, like, while I'm scoring with my knob, he'll protect the goal with his knob. So,
yeah, fact.
I'm going to read out these super chats really quickly just before we keep it moving. First of all, Puneet with a new membership.
This is Puneet, bro.
Welcome back to the Xtra Club, Puneet. Or is he returning or new?
Returning.
Yeah, returning. Perfect. Love that. Professional idiot with the 5. Big up professional idiot. He says, big up Daps and Hugh, and as usual, big JP. It's great to see academy players are showing quality. Big up Oil Plastic 115 FFP Charger City. You know what? I think this is somewhat related to the Calvin Phillips conversation, because you talk about Calvin Phillips not taking opportunities. Mika Hamilton took his opportunity. Oscar Bob has taken his opportunities. Rico Lewis has taken his opportunities. This is what you need to see. Now Pep
young lad
knows.
came on. What was his name? The other young lad.
Soho.
Yeah.
Soho, yeah.
I'd even say he looked decent when he came on. He took his opportunity as well. Like,
yeah, he had that one wobble at the start where he looked like he was a bit
yeah.
deer in the headlights, and then instantly after that he looked like
he went and
he
won the
retaining
ball back
possession.
to be fair, after that he went and got the ball back. Like, and that's the thing,
the mentality, isn't it? That's
the
headspace that he needs to be.
It's just for me. It's a case of Pep now knows what those players. Right. They have something. There's something to work with there.
Yeah.
They're nowhere near the finished article. They're nowhere near ready to play Premier League week in, week out.
Yeah.
But there's something there that we should be all kind of keeping our eye on.
Yeah.
We never saw that.
I feel bad for Elaine. Max Elaine is called. He was the other 18-year-old that was on the bench. Pep said in his post-match that basically he wanted to bring Elaine on as well. But when they got that second goal, it was a bit too nervy for him to just like throw him on because he's a centre back, that Max Lane guy. So they didn't want to full send that. So I felt I felt bad when I heard that last night. I was like, oh, that's a bit shit because for him, all these other mates are getting on the pitch. You know what I mean? And they're all getting Champions League debuts, and then he's like, oh wow, I've now got to wait till next year when we're in the group stage.
Give him Huddersfield at home. Give him Huddersfield at home.
I feel like it's only fair that Pep lets him get a debut somewhere. So just put him in Carabao Cup, anything like FA Cup, anything, mate. Not Carabao, obviously. FA Cup.
If we're 4 up in the Club World Cup, give him that so he can stunt on him. Oh, you got group stages. I got a cup final.
Yeah. I got a medal.
Big up professionally for the 5-man, and big up Mohamed as well with the 199. Conceding 11 goals in the last 5 matches is so poor. I know you think you got thoughts on that, Daps, don't you? Yeah,
that's my one worry. Like, even the Luton goal, that was so frustrating because I was quite happy with the way. I know we hadn't scored in the first half, but I was happy with the way we were playing.
Oh, I back that.
Yeah, I was even happy with the way we were defending, and then it was just like literally the last 30 seconds we just switched off, and it's like it was just frustrating because it's like, for fuck's sake, man. Like, and this is a thing. It's fine when we're winning games, like Leipzig 3-2, but that's Leipzig. And yesterday was Belgrade. But when it gets to the league or the knockout stages, we can't be conceding goals like that. Because if we remember Real Madrid season before last at home, where we scored, what was it? Was it 5-3 in the end or something like that? No, 5-4.
Something like that. Yeah, we should. It was some mad thing like 5-4, 6-4. It's the one where we should have absolutely battered them.
Yeah.
Like we should have had probably like double figures in goals, mate, but we missed loads of chances, wasn't it?
But the biggest issue is, there's a stat. It was something like from February through till the Wolves game this season, we'd only ever conceded 1 goal a game, maximum, right? And then you look at recently, fucking 4 against Chelsea, 3 against Tottenham, 2 against Leipzig, 2 against Belgrade. Compared to, we're Manchester City, best defence in Europe at the moment. We can't be singing. I best not hear that song at the moment.
No. At the moment, floodgates are open at the moment, and everyone's scoring against us.
But I do. If we could just quickly on the Luton game, Jack Grealish, man, 100% record in the league. Every game he starts, we win.
Daps. We are going to have a full segment on Jack Grealish.
Good.
I want to speak on Jack Grealish, but before we do, finally, 10 gifted.
He's giving a standing ovation. A standing ovation he's giving. He did a lap of the shed. Really professional idiot, mate. Big up.
A lap of the shed.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. A lap of his shed there. Yes, professional idiot, bro. Big up to everyone who's got the gifted membership from Professional Idiot. Dot's Footy's in there as well, the criminal. Also, I seen Steven Gerrard got one, and I seen Steven Gerrard in the chat before said that Calvin Phillips has won more trophies than him, which is facts. So I'd love to see it. As well. Obviously, whilst I'm chatting shit, big up Professional Idiot. Also, this stream is sponsored by Boohoo Man. Go get yourself 10% off at Boohoo Man. The link is in the pinned comment and the description. So big up to Boohoo Man.
And you'll be dressed far better than me.
Oh no, I rate Daps dress sense tonight. I rate it, mate.
I fully feel like, look, I love Christmas, and I love City. but I feel like a full kit wanker right now. I feel like Ty at Christmas.
you are Tony Pierce Christmas mode, aren't you? Nah, you know what, right? You know what? For on the watch long on Saturday, I'm gonna dress exactly like this. I'm gonna go get a Christmas jumper. I'm gonna go get a City Christmas hat. I'm in respect for the way that Daps is dressed tonight. I'm gonna dress the exact same, mate. I rate it pure drip.
I love. Oh, Huey doesn't clearly. Okay.
You don't like the drip.
Huey's trying to get his own sponsorship with Boohoo, so he's like, I'm not being on this stream until we move on from this segment.
Yeah, Hugh did rapid. But yeah, I agreed with you, by the way, about the Luton game. The fact that the first half was so good.
Yeah,
like it was not so good. You know what I mean? There is levels to the way that we play, but it was good for the way that we've been playing recently. We had, for the first time in a while, we had control of the game, and then to get that goal conceded in that first half at halftime. At halftime, I was like, I don't even know what to say because I do think we've been playing well. Yeah. I can't really be annoyed because I'm happy with the performance. It's just that one little moment you switch off and it's just shit. So then, but look, obviously, fortunately, the Luton game, we turned it around in the second half and.
I don't know. I really do think it probably did suit Jack Grealish as well. That type of game, smaller pitch and that. But I keep saying it. This isn't just a. Firstly, obviously, it is props for Jack Grealish, but it's not just props for Jack Grealish. We've been forced into making loads of changes. Don't make any more on top of that because, like, we've gone from a midfield that had total control with De Bruyne, Gundogan, Rodri, and at times we haven't had any of them. And then to make it worse, we're playing kind of Alvarez, which actually isn't really a 10 as a 10, right? We're playing Doku, which Doku cooks, but he's not all about ball possession. He's not about, in this instance, I'm not going to go for the touchline. I'm not going to go for the goal. I'm going to slow the game down and wait till there's a clearer chance and make sure that we just keep control of. Like, there's a big thing in what Jack Grealish does that people just don't understand how important he is. From the drawing out players out of position, drawing 2-3 players out of position, and then popping the ball off to someone else. You don't realise that 2 seconds that he's caught people out of position gives the next person that's got the ball 2 seconds more to find space to play a pass through, or so he's making time and space for everyone else. But also the way we move the ball about with him, we have teams going back and forth, following the ball. Do you know how mentally and physically draining that can be? Because they're like, fucking hell, how can I say this? What we do, it's like almost like mesmerizing teams into this lethargic way of thinking. Then all of a sudden speed up the pace of the game, and there we go. So I think Grealish has been pivotal for that game, and I want to see him actually. Oh yeah, he came off injured, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he went down and he hurt his ribs at one point, didn't he?
Have you heard anything on that?
No, I assume it's nothing too serious. We would have definitely heard something if it wasn't was something serious.
And Doku, but anyone heard if Doku's back for Palace?
Doku is a very weird one because when he first got injured, it was the what we heard afterwards was he was pretty. It wasn't as bad as what we thought. He might be back for the next game, and then he's just kind of not been involved since. So hopefully he's back for Palace. I can't imagine him starting.
I want to see Grealish start, and then hopefully maybe when we're 1 or 2 up. I'm predicting we go 1 or 2 up. We bring on Doku then if he is back to give him a few minutes. But if not, it's not a big deal. We're off to the Club World Cup and he can travel over there and whatever. But we need to get that. I know it's Palace at home and some people say foregone conclusion and whatever. But listen, Everton at home last season, Brentford at home last season, we probably thought they would have been foregone conclusions and they weren't. But it's very important, very, very important we get 3 points because we go off to the Club World Cup and, I would imagine, I haven't looked at the fixture list, but Arsenal and Liverpool will probably play at least 1 Premier League game while we're away.
2.
Is it 2?
Yeah, I believe so.
There we go. So, that I know it means we'll have games in the bag, but points in the bag are better than games in the bag always. So, it gives us, we're having to come back and we could come back to potentially like a 9-10 point difference potentially. So we have to get that Palace game must be 3 points, must be.
The Grealish one is it's important to me. You guys know as a big member of the GDL, like I am, the Grealish Defence League,
Yeah.
is that look, I think Grealish doesn't get anywhere enough respect and credit for how important he is to this team.
Yeah.
It's absolutely no coincidence whatsoever that we go to Villa Park, we have zero control in the game. Jack Grealish comes back against Luton, and all of a sudden we're controlling the game properly again. I'm not saying that's solely down to him. Obviously, Rodri being there helps, but Jack Grealish in the way we play is so important. And something people don't talk about with Grealish either is the guy has an elite mentality, absolutely elite to the highest order. There is not one player in England talked about in a negative connotation as much as Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
Constantly criticized, constantly under the microscope, has a bad game, he's ridiculed, not getting enough G&A, he's ridiculed, pictured out enjoying himself, he's ridiculed, and still he comes up with the goods. He
cares, bro. And there's a difference. Like, look, I'm not saying that people like, I'm going to use Marcus Rashford as an example, don't care. He might care. But to me, I know Grealish cares what people think about him, right? He cares. Everyone's seen the interviews, on Sky or TNT after the game where he was talking to other players. He cares. Like, he wants people to think he is a good footballer. Yeah, he wants to be appreciated. He cares. He cares about, and look, when you talk about mentality, you're spot on, because you got to remember, Grealish has been portrayed in a negative light from young, because Grealish has been one of those names from being very, very young at Aston Villa, right? He's had someone run on the pitch and punch him in the back of the head, right? And what did he do? He got up and went and scored, right? That's all he did. He at such a young age captained his childhood club back to the Premier League, right? That's his mentality, yeah? At such a young age. He is an elite player. He gets the system, and he also is so selfless as well, because there is this thing about GA, of course, yeah. And some people would say he doesn't get enough GA, but also that could drive you to go, do you know what? I'm not going to look for that extra pass. I'm not going to think about possession. I'm not going to think about not giving the ball away. I'm going to shoot because I need to. But he doesn't. He puts the team first and says, nah, this is a system. This is how we play. And this is what I've said to someone before, rival fans will say, yeah, but we like the old Grealish that was more of a flair player. Well, that old Grealish, I could compare to a Matt Le Tissier, for example, right? Not quite the same, but Matt Le Tissier. We all loved watching Matt Le Tissier goals, right? But do you think Southampton and do you think Matt Le Tissier would trade some of those goals for silverware? Absolutely. All day long, right? All day long. So, you might not see Grealish taking on 100 players, but you will see Grealish lifting trophies. So
I think Pep's done a fantastic job with him as well. I think Pep's done a brilliant job because, as you alluded to there, he does care what people think. He does pay attention to what people say, and it's a massive job for Pep Guardiola and the coaching staff to remind him, that doesn't matter. What you're doing is what we want. What you're doing is helping us win games. Like the treble-winning season, he wasn't a passenger. You don't win a treble. You don't win a treble playing week in, week out by being a passenger. His contributions to the game, however little G&A that was, helped everybody else. It helped us lift 3 major trophies. It helped us achieve greatness. He was integral, whether you like it or not. And personally, listen, I'm a massive fan of Doku. I am, and I like the way he's going, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he turns out, as time goes on. But when they're both fit, if one of them has to play in the left wing, I'm picking Jack Grealish right now.
100%.
I prefer to watch Doku because he's the street footballer type thing and he's more get you off your seat. But if I want to win games and I want to play the way City do, it's Jack Grealish every single time.
Do you know, the thing is, I think it was either on a City Extra post or an MCFC Lads post. I put, no coincidence, that Jack Grealish has a 100% winning record with Man City in the Premier League this season when he starts games, right? And straight away, this City fan, jumped in saying, shut the F up. What are you trying to say about Doku? And started going off on one. I said, I didn't even mention Doku. What the hell are you talking? I'm talking about Jack Grealish, right? Personally, I actually like Jack Grealish in the 10 bowl. right? I'd be more than happy
I
to see
agree.
Doku on the left and Grealish in the 10 role. But
Same.
ultimately, we play that many games in every season. We need both. Play Doku on the right. I've seen him look good on the right. This is not about Doku and Jack Grealish. Furthermore, Doku is in his first season at Manchester City. He's 21 years old, right? And he's getting used to the system. I personally, in a lot of games, would think, you know what, start Grealish, bring on Doku. Because when a game is stretched, the amount of space Doku would have is just unbelievable. So, look, Grealish has been unreal, man. And I also think Pep's dropped him a bit. We'll say dropped, whether it be injuries, whether it be maybe nights out or whatever in the last couple of months. Grealish hasn't featured as much. And it's frustrated me at times, absolutely. But I almost feel like maybe that was needed, because I really do think Pep tests players, because we're going for the 4th league in a row, right? To get a team to go that many times, especially after you've just done the treble, right? To get a team to go again is difficult, right? Now, we know Jack celebrated massively. He came back, and I believe he did while Pep was away in Spain having his back sorted. I believe Grealish might have possibly gone Creamfields. Maybe while he's injured, maybe not. But I think Pep has gone, because the media are shoving it down Pep's throat, sorry. Jack's partying too much. Jack's partying too much. And Pep's sticking up for him, going, nope. Then something like that happens. Pep could be like, do you know what? I need to test this guy. And I need to show him that, yes, he's important to us, but I just need to test him. And I don't want to be testing him in February, March, April. I want to test him now and remind him there's another winger here now, Jack. So, and you saw after that Luton game, the way Pep went over, he loves Jack Grealish as well. And you could see he was happy because he saw the response that he wanted to see. We also saw the response against Man United, to be fair. Grealish was superb against United. So, yeah, happy for Jack. And hopefully he'll go and lift the Club World Cup for us as well. And then
he's a big game player, Jack Grealish. People don't talk about that either. Genuinely, when it's a big moment or a big game, Jack has more often than not come up with the goods, whether it be through a good performance like the game you're talking about against Man United, or else he scores a goal or an assist. Like, you look at his run last year, his only GNAs really. Chelsea away, 1-0 win, he assists from Mahrez. A goal and assist at home to Liverpool, goal away to Arsenal, goal away to United. Then this season, goal at home to Tottenham, that if he doesn't score, we lose the game. And then the winning goal against Luton in a must-win game. I know it's not the biggest opposition, but we had to win that game. So he has a track record of, you know what, when it actually really, really matters, he turns up.
And also, that Man United game, the home one last season that we won 6-3, ask any Man United fan who the best 3 players on the pitch were. Grealish is one of the top 3. I know Haaland and Foden both got hat-tricks, and I believe Grealish did not get 1 assist. But Grealish was unreal that day as well. Absolutely unreal. And that's the thing, that you need players like that. At times, David Silva wasn't always getting the GA that you'd probably think he got, right? But are you going to tell me that Silva wasn't pivotal to Manchester City?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the thing with Grealish is, I get it. I get people, football purists and people who like to watch exciting football may not enjoy him as much as they do Doku. But when you talk about winning, Jack Grealish is there for that. And I've often tried to put myself in defenders' shoes who mark Jack Grealish. And I came to the conclusion that he would be an extremely frustrating player to play against, because mentally, physically it might be more Doku because he's going to twist and turn, he's going to try to take you on. But mentally, to be up against Jack Grealish would be so draining, because you know what he's going to do. And when you and your colleague jump in to try and stop him do what he's going to do, you're making space for the next man behind us. But if you don't jump in and defend Jack Grealish, you're giving him space and he can go and score a goal. So you're constantly in a mental battle with yourself. What do I do with Jack Grealish? We all know he's going to cut in.
He's a magnet, bro. I think Athletic last season did these like moving diagrams on, I think it was De Bruyne, Grealish, and Haaland, right? And what they did is they showed what the other team think they're going to do, right? With a dotted line going, and it's obvious. You're looking at it going, yeah, that's where he's going to go. And then it would be, oh no, they'd do the other thing. And this is almost, I think, maybe Pep's drilled into them to, all right, if people think they know how City play, then we'll just change how we play. Like against United this season, the amount of times Grealish had the ball and they thought, yeah, he's going to move the ball inside to Bernardo Silva like he always does. But against United, Grealish was kind of coming in a bit more. Bernardo Silva was overlapping him and going him down the wing, and then they were just reversing it back there. It's like, oh, and every single time you could see, well, United players like, this isn't what we thought they were going to do. And it's just, that's where I think Pep uses the players right. And look, I think there's no coincidence that we spoke about with Rodri and Stones, or Diaz and Stones. I even think with Bernardo Silva, with Rodri there, that gives Bernardo Silva a bit more freedom to be the player he wants to be. With Jack Grealish there, it allows it. And this is where you look at the treble winning system and the key players in it. And this season, so many times we haven't had, or very few times this season have we had those key players together. Ultimately, our spine. And yeah, Jack Grealish last season, I honestly think was one of the first names every single game on our team sheet. Because there'd be times where we go, now, Haaland, I'm going to give you a rest. Whereas with Grealish, there was never a rest.
No, he was always getting Pep favoured him heavily. He suited the system, and I mean, it's mad. Like the stat about him when he's in the pitch, Haaland scores more. That's all because he's, like you said a minute ago, Daps, he's a magnet. Yeah. He's a magnet for defenders, which obviously only leads in Haaland getting more space. Yeah. So he's a positive to the side. Like we've said plenty of times that Doku and Grealish can coexist in this City side. It doesn't have to be 100%. One versus the other. It doesn't have to be Doku's better than this. No one. If you praise Grealish, it doesn't mean that you're slating Doku, and if you're praising Doku, doesn't mean that you're slating Grealish. We get these people all the time where if you give Grealish his props, then you get these people coming in saying, "Oh, I hate these people who just English bias and all this." You know what I mean? All because you're praising Grealish, but these players are allowed to coexist in the City side, and we should be backing them both.
All of them, like same one, Vardio Ake.
Yeah, like competition at a football club is healthy, and we're very lucky to have 2 quality wingers now. Who are both fighting for that competition. Like I said before, Grealish has had his time out of the team, and it's how he reacts to that and how he responds to that. That time will come for Doku. Doku will have his time where he'll be on the bench, and it's how he reacts to Jack Grealish starting over him. And that's how both of them 2 players become better players, and that's how we will get the best out of them.
Yep, spot on.
People, we're going to move it on to the Champions League knockout kind of talk. I want to talk about the draw and who we could possibly face, who we'd like to face. But before we do, make sure you are hitting the like button. It massively helps more people find the channel. We're getting close, really close now, less than 300 to 85k. So help us get to 85k by subscribing, and then we're on the home straight to 100k.
You need that by New Year's Eve. It's a must.
Yeah, we must.
We should be able to do it by New Year's Eve. We should be able to do it by New Year's Eve 85. But also a reminder, this show is sponsored by Boohoo. So Boohoo, they'll give you 10% off if you use City Extra at checkout. Plenty of great gear. You always see myself and Jordy Porty wear it. They kit us out. We always look fresh as a daisy. If you want to look like us, go and shop at Boohoo and use City Extra at checkout for 10% off. The draw for the Champions League last 16, I believe, is Monday morning. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, Monday 11 o'clock. Yeah, Monday 11 o'clock.
Right. And would that be dates as well?
No, that comes out a day or two later.
No, isn't it the same day? Isn't it a few hours later?
Is it a few hours? I thought it was the next day.
Need to know the date, man.
I'm trying to think of when we used to book onto away days all the time. I know group stage, you get the dates like a few hours later. I can't remember the round of 16, but usually like you get the draw, and then a couple of hours later you'll find out the dates, because what we used to do is we used to go on to my mate Joe's, watch the draw, then sit there looking for flights. Yeah.
Right. Well, anyway, we'll find that.
Either or. It's not the route to the final yet, is it? This is just they're just doing the one round of 16, and then it's the quarters. Then that's the route to the final where it splits.
Yeah. So this one is open. So the teams we could potentially face are Inter Milan, Lazio, PSG. We cannot get Leipzig, and then Porto. So Porto, PSG, Lazio, and Inter Milan.
Is that
Copenhagen?
There's another 4
in there.
Yeah, I'm going to look at half. Napoli, PSV, Copenhagen. I was only looking at the first half there. Napoli, PSV, Copenhagen as well.
Yeah, so that basically we've got a very, very, very good chance of getting an Italian team, because pretty much all of them are Italians in that pot too. So
who takes your fancy there, gents? Chat, get involved in this as well. Where would you like to go? Who would you like to play, and for what reason?
I want to go Porto, right? Because I'm bored of going to Spain. But I want to go Porto in the quarters because it's warmer. I think Porto in February won't be that nice. I want,
Copenhagen. I'm thinking primarily for away days because I want to do the away day.
Copenhagen's got a great bar
So
over there.
expensive, man. Copenhagen.
Copenhagen is chaired, but it's meant to be really nice as well.
Yeah.
You pay for that for us then.
I mean, I think we're probably going to get an Italian team, aren't we?
I mean, the three of them are Italian teams in it, Inter, Lazio, and Napoli. So
I'm not going Lazio or Napoli.
I'm not going any Inter. I'm not going any of them.
I'll go San Siro. I'm not going Napoli.
To fair, San Siro would be a sick one to go to.
I've heard Napoli's a beautiful. Yeah, I'm going. Whoever it is, I'm going. Oh well, actually, that's why I asked the dates. I might not. I'm in Abu Dhabi in February for a week, so I looked the other day and thought, depending on the date, but I need to go. Do you know it would be fun to play Copenhagen and batter them because of the fact that they put United out. It would just be that would be a nice little. There you go. We'll deal with it for you, boys. Don't worry. But I have a sneaky feeling we're going to get an Italian team.
A good chance.
Yeah, I mean there is a good chance. I'd like to get. You know what I mean? I mean, like if you're thinking like the favourable draws, you'd like Copenhagen or I mean a PSV, something like that, just to like you back us more. Yeah, I think into I think Lazio, even Lazio will be a difficult game. I think any the Italian sides
it will be a bit.
Yeah. PSG's heavy. PSG's heavy, but I back us every single time against PSG. Yeah, I think they throw the toys out the pram too much. When it's not going their way, they implode.
Do you know what? I said to an Arsenal fan last night that for me, look, I'm not going to sit and act like we haven't lost to PSG. We have lost to PSG, but I'm pretty certain, correct me if I'm wrong, we've never been knocked out by PSG.
No, we've always beat them, haven't we?
Yeah, we've played them a few times.
I'm trying to think of that one ages ago.
We played them in the group stages where Messi scored in the first group game that was at their place. They scored. We played really well and they won 1-0. That was season before last. Then we played them at our gaff and beat them. And then we've played them twice in knockout stages and put them out. And I kind of, for me, PSG, right? People say they're a big team. I get it. They've spent a lot of money, got some great players, but we've had to learn the hard way about football heritage, especially about in Europe, right? That there's teams like Barca have put us out, Real Madrid have put us out. I think Bayern have put us out before. But you know, these teams that once they get into the knockout stages, they know how to, over two legs, beat a team and get the job done, right? We now know that. We've done that. We've been through that. We've beat Real Madrid over two legs. We've beat Bayern Munich over two legs. Whereas PSG, they still ain't got that know-how. They still do not know when it comes to the knockout stages how to react in Europe. And for me, I can't see us getting PSG for whatever reason. I'd love Arsenal to get PSG because I think that would be a good game. But I think Arsenal will do them. I think Arsenal will beat PSG as well. Yeah, for me, I think the best we could get would be Copenhagen because I think we handle them very easily. And do you know what? We had a hard route last season. No one can ever knock our route to the final last season.
No, not a chance.
So based on that, I couldn't give a shit if we get an easy route because.
Do you know our route to the final last year? What was it? We had Dortmund, Bayern, Real Madrid,
Leipzig, Bayern, Real Madrid.
Oh yeah, that was it.
And it was.
Dortmund was the group stage, wasn't it? Yeah.
I'll hear Leipzig was a bit easy, but then after that we faced Bayern and Real Madrid, who I'm pretty certain have won the most Champions Leagues. Ever.
That's some of the best football I've ever seen City play as well.
Yeah,
ever.
Exactly. And then we went and played. Those two games, we played beautiful, beautiful City football. And then in the final, the football gods goes, all right, well, we've seen that you can play beautiful football against heritage teams. Well, here's another one that's won 2 or 3 Champions Leagues and plays complete shithouse football and see how you cope with that. And we went and dealt with that as well by playing a different way, just, really gritty football. So I think if we get an easy route this year, I don't care because we're the defending champions. We probably should get an easy route because, we've earned it. For how many seasons were we winning the Premier League, but other teams getting better seeded than us because of their history in the Champions League? So do you know what? It's fair that we get. And when people go, City getting an easy draw. Yes, because we've earned an easy draw, right? We have, you lot haven't. So I'd like Copenhagen. I think it's an extra twist that they knock Man United out to get them would be nice.
I have a weird feeling in my stomach that we get PSG. I have a weird feeling.
Yeah, no, I don't
why.
have that vibe. I don't have that. I genuinely think we're gonna end up with like PSV or Copenhagen. Genuinely, and I think that basically everyone will be like that. Everyone will do the whole shock City easy draw again. I can see it.
There's four of those places I'm not going. I'm not going to Copenhagen. I'm not going to Lazio. I'm not going to Napoli, and I'm not going to what was the last one?
PSV will be naughty. PSV will be naughty.
PSV, you could go to Dam, couldn't you?
PSV are a naughty bunch, but to be fair, Steve's plugged in with their boys, so that could be a nice little drink up.
I'd like to go to Paris. And see what that's saying. Professionally here with the 5. What's he saying? He says, speaking of Italy, how much XOR expected racism do you think we will see if we played any Italian team? They don't have a good reputation.
No, they don't have a good reputation at all.
They don't have a good reputation.
It'd be pretty bad.
They're naughty bastards. Celtic went out to Lazio a couple of weeks ago and played in their ground in Rome, and they were beaten from pillar to post in the streets. They were denied access to the stadium upon arrival for no reason, and those who got into the ground, they were made take their shoes off at the entrance. Like, it was just wild shit.
These really look like. Have you ever seen Ty's Arsenal headphones?
Yes.
You are the Ty of Manchester City.
Just to confirm, these are not Man City headphones. They're actually my daughter's Frozen headphones, but my headphones have just died.
Nah, they fit though.
You look like a full kit wanker.
Yeah. You decked out now, you know.
MJG cleaning, window cleaning. Daps, where did you get your smoking jacket from? Looking like Hugh Hefner.
I think he's meaning. I wear some people call it a robe. I call it a dressing gown. I call it a dressing gown. Yeah. Robe sounds like when people say why are you wearing a robe. It's like I don't think I'm AJ.
Robe sounds too posh to me.
Yeah, way too posh. I'm literally just at home in my dressing gown before I go to bed. I got it from Amazon. You know.
Do you know where you can get great robes? Boo-hoo! And you can
Amazon. Don't go anywhere near Amazon. Absolutely stick to that unless they want to sponsor the show. For now, boo-hoo. Great robe.
Yeah. Go get yourself a robe from Boohoo.
You got it from Boohoo, MJG window cleaning. That's where you got it.
Yeah.
Boohoo. I can confirm I got it from.
You know, in certain parts of Dublin, they call a dressing gown a house coat.
Oh yeah, house coat. I've heard that one before.
Yeah, well. Bro, let's not get into that. It's like in certain parts up north, they call rolls tea cakes. Or balms.
Yeah. Balm. It is a balm. That's why.
Well, the maddest one's muffins.
Muffin. Yeah.
Or Grealish's brother calls them cobs.
Oh, cobs. Yeah. No, not about that.
Butter. Bacon butter.
A butt is fine. That's fine.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah. Bread,
a bap I get, but the muffin one's mad because it's like, no, listen, a muffin and a roll are not the same.
I agree. A muffin is like what you get from a bakery. A muffin, chocolate chip muffin, and a roll.
Chip muffin,
roll.
Oh, I was thinking of even the type of muffin you get in flipping McDonald's. That's also not. But you're right. There is that type of muffin as well. Yeah, but a muffin is not a basic roll. It's not.
Yeah. So get your terminology correct, people. Don't come here with the wrong terminology. Daps will send you in his house coat. Bacon barm. Yeah. Listen. A good show, man. I think we'll wrap it up there, unless anybody has anything major they want to get off their chest.
Last thing, are you worried about Palace 3 p.m. kickoff?
No, I'm
They've
not.
got quite a few injuries. I think we're fine. We're at home as well, so.
No, I'm not. Do you know what? I've had like the last game I tried to go to but didn't even make to was Brighton. I've been having a bit of a calm down and wait for the away games next season.
Yeah,
next from January. But I'm up for the Sheffield. I was going to say a few boys are about trying to get a few people together. Sheffield United at home. You over then, Huey?
I'm over this Saturday. I wasn't going to go this Saturday, but the flights were like 30 quid return. So I was like,
lovely. Saturday's my daughter's birthday as well. So even if I wanted, I couldn't. But yeah, I'm up for the Sheffield United game. I'm up for from the 29th till the 2nd coming up.
Yeah, so you're over for New Year's.
Yeah.
Big. Yeah. Love that. Yeah, we'll link up whilst you're over.
Yeah, 100%.
We'll link up.
But yeah, no, as far as the game, I don't know. I have, you know, I had people say yesterday on Never Foul, a few people, because I came on maybe a bit chesty again yesterday, and someone said, Daps, you're back feeling confident. Where have you got your chest from? And I said, well, yeah, we've won our last 2 games. I haven't forgot. I'm not saying everything's rosy in our garden, but, you know, I always said, all I need to do is see that we can get back to that level. And I want to see people working hard. I want to see, and I've seen it now. And I honestly think we've had our slip up now. I'm not going to say we're going unbeaten for the rest of the season, but I feel like we've had our slip up now. And I feel like now Pep would have said to him, no more room for errors, boys. No more room for errors. He'll have them up for it on Saturday. Then we fly out to the Club World Cup. And look, before we know it, Kevin De Bruyne's going to be back on that pitch. And then I think De Bruyne is going to come back on absolute smoke. Absolute smoke. I think
it must be frustrating for him having to sit on the sidelines and watch some of these performances, you know. So I reckon he's going to come back with like bare anger. I reckon he's going to want to like fix up.
It looks frustrating when you're knocking about Abu Dhabi and F1s and all that kind of
That's
shit.
true. That's true. Yeah, go and get yourself some new teeth and hair.
Doing TikTok dances with the guy with the afro and that. Pretending like he didn't know he had the afro under the hood when we all know he's got the afro under the hood. I feel like, you know, if you think back to that David Silva moment, where Pep kind of said to the players, look, today is about David Silva. And Pep's always been to people, you know, family first, your life comes first. Like, this is football, but family is so important. I feel like with this injury, maybe Pep said to De Bruyne, you know, you've had your operation. Don't go and do a Mendy and be running around on crutches or anything, but enjoy yourself. Spend some time with your other half. Go about, see the world, because when you come back... Because when you come back, there's not going to be days off, right? There'll be 1 or 2, probably from January till May. They probably have 3-4 days off in that period, really and truly, yeah. It's going to be intense. And he knows more than ever, you know, without Gundogan now, without Mahrez, we're going to need Kevin De Bruyne more. Without Laporte, I'll even say it, without Laporte as well, we're going to need Kevin De Bruyne more than ever. And I think Pep will have told him, look, when you come back, you're straight in and it's going to be no days off. So enjoy yourself. And I think De Bruyne's going to be coming back, looking at the number of assists other people in the league have got and thinking, all right, let's see what we can do. You know, Haaland's missed him as well. Haaland's going to be chomping at the bits.
Yeah, definitely.
We've all missed him. We've all missed him a huge amount. I can't wait to see him.
The mad thing is, I honestly can imagine De Bruyne and Haaland having a conversation where they're looking at, you know, the number of assists people have got. And Haaland probably is looking at his record from last season and thinking, I'm a bit off it compared to where I was last season. But he's probably going, Kev, do you want to help me beat it? And I'll help you beat, you know, Trent and Salah and everyone else, Saka's assists. And just, they're the two type of players that would back themselves to do that as well. Go, yeah, let's just go out and blitz this league. So
true.
I can't wait to hopefully I'm there in the stadium when it happens, when he comes off the bench for the first time. The roar in the crowd will be unreal.
Oh, Kevin. Do you know what? It gives you goosebumps, that. Have you ever seen, there was this, I think it's a Spanish team, someone in the comments will know what I'm talking about, where before a Champions League game, they had the violinist that did that. It's their chant and they're all joining in, yeah? And I said before the semi-final against Real Madrid or something, if we had like... actually playing live with the boot off, man, with the light show going off and whatever, that would be beautiful, man. Kevin De Bruyne's first game back, evening kickoff.
Oh, that'd be sick to fair. That'd be sick to fair. Yeah.
Right, people, we're going to start wrapping it up. Daps, have you got another show after this, or is there?
No, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed after this.
Well then, people, seeing as Daps has got nothing going on, Martin, I think, is live on the Mancunian Way. Martin's live, I believe, or he's going live at some time soon. So go over to the Mancunian Way and let them know in the chat City Extra sent you.
Also, go subscribe to Never Foul. It's added in the title. So make sure you subscribe to Never Foul as well, man.
You got a Big Six tonight, Huey? Or?
Yeah, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, Big Six should be a good one.
Easy one for you.
Liverpool playing United, so I think that's
Liverpool United.
What are we saying, boys?
I think 6-0 Liverpool.
I think United get fucking battered. There's a part of me though that wants it to end in a draw just so that we can catch up to Liverpool a bit. But then I also think that there's plenty of time for us to catch up to Liverpool, and there's only twice you get to see Liverpool batter United. No, so
I just think it's hilarious that Liverpool, the scummy bastards, have gone. And I've been looking at that stand thinking, why haven't they opened it yet? They've saved it and gone, nah. We're going to open it against Man United. And do you know how many extra 1,000 seats it is?
Is it 10?
7. The magic number. 1,000 for every goal they scored last season. They're just taking the piss.
Hey, is that honestly that could be a batter in that?
Yeah, it really could be.
We will be there.
We'll be there. Yeah, fact.
A 0-0 draw would be beautiful.
Make sure you've hit the like button on your way out. Daps will be back next Thursday, same time, same place. And enjoy the rest of your evenings. Good night and God bless.